Hello everyone, welcome to Ace with Ease IAS. Today the topic of discussion is the super organic view of culture. So, is there anything really super about it? We shall look into it. So, what is the super organic view of culture? So, what are we trying to study here basically? We are trying to study the nature of culture. Okay, we are trying to study the nature of culture. So now we all know that, suppose before telling you the topic, we should understand what is culture. So I hope you all know it, but for a brief, okay. So if we take E.B. Tyler's definition, that culture is nothing but complex whole of knowledge, beliefs, values, customs, habits that are acquired by man by being a member of a society. Right. So, whatever the knowledge that you have, whatever the beliefs you have, values, whatever the customs, or any habit that you are learning as a part of the society. So, you are born as a biological being. Okay, you are born as a biological being. You know nothing when you are born as a child. So, you are not having the complete picture of the world. Okay, so you don't know anything. Okay, so you're born as a biological being and you have certain physical features. Right. So this is nothing but organic according to chemistry. Okay, in the similar manner, you have something inorganic. Inorganic means something that doesn't have life. Like you name atoms, minerals, and all this fall under the inorganic. And organic means something which has got life. And similarly, super organic means which is beyond the life. Super organic means something which is beyond life or beyond an individual human being. Right. So this is with respect to the normal understanding of the words inorganic, organic, super organic. Inorganic means which is not having any life, organic means which has got life, and super organic means which is beyond the life. Okay, so the same things when you apply to the culture. Organic culture is something, organic culture is something which is resulted from the actions of biological being. Okay, so now what happens? I'll add a specific word. Okay, so suppose we are two people who come across each other at a particular point of time. Consider that it's millions of years ago and people didn't know the language. We met each other, and because our vocal cords could make some noise, okay, so we started using a particular noise to understand what we are trying to convey. Maybe because we want food or we want water, so we started making some sounds. Okay, and we have attached some meaning to it. Okay, tomorrow other people will come and will add some additional sounds to it. Like this, over a period of time, every individual will contribute some or the other thing, and at a later point of time, language is formed. Okay, right? So this is organic view of culture. Organic view is that whatever the culture that is there, so we have rules, we have norms, we have knowledge, whatever that is there, whatever the beliefs that are there, whatever the customs, whatever the traditions you have, all these has been created by the humans, and this is the organic view of culture. And in contradiction to this, okay, so organic view of culture is promoted by Malinowski, especially Marvin Harris. Okay, Malinowski says that it is culture which encompasses everything. Okay, so culture is present to meet the needs of an individual. Okay, so if it is there to meet the needs of an individual, that means individual will create it. Okay, the response is because of an individual, and henceforth it is organic in nature. And in the similar manner, Marvin Harris says that, see, culture is resulted out of the materialistic aspects made by the humans. So culture is result out of the technology of the individuals, and it is organic in nature. Okay, so these are the people who supported this view of organic view of culture. Now coming to super organic view, who has introduced this concept? Herbert Spencer, so famous sociologist who coined this term and who has introduced it. And in anthropology, it has been made famous by Kroeber, saying that culture is beyond the individual. Okay, so the culture, if an individual is this part and this is culture, culture is beyond the individual, and it is a super organic entity, because their version is that today we have taken birth. So now what happens? Initially culture is organic in nature. Over a period of time, culture becomes so big that it subsumes the organic products. That means it subsumes the individuals. Today nobody knows the entire knowledge of epics, or entire volume of epics is not read by anyone. Only some part of the epics can be read by an individual, right? Somebody may read Bhagavad Gita or somebody may read Ramayana, but it is not possible to read all the 10,000 volumes that have been written. Okay, same is the case with respect to a language. A single individual cannot try to know all the nitty-gritties of the language. Only some part of the language, some researches he can do, and he can get specific knowledge in specific areas. Okay, so he remains limited to particular areas. So from this, they tend to say that over a period of time, culture acquires super organic nature and it becomes a super organic entity. Today, though initially, as we discussed, it is combination of two individuals making sounds, and over a period of time, when they gets accumulated, it becomes language. But language attains the super organic view. Okay, the language attains super organic nature by subsuming the organic nature within it, and now the organic nature becomes so small. That means whatever the individual contributes, it becomes so small. If a new person is born into this culture, he is not aware of the entire knowledge of this world. Okay, so which is the culture? It has become so big that now individual cannot overtake the culture. So this is the view, and they tend to say that culture is super organic entity, and this view has been supported by Leslie White, Radcliffe Brown. Radcliffe Brown says that culture has two kinds of elements in it, which are super organic in nature, which are organic in nature. So Radcliffe Brown calls language, religion as super organic in nature. Okay, he says that religion and language are beyond individuals, and these are super organic in nature. No one individual can know the entire part of the knowledge, entire part of the religion or the language. Okay, so what you need to know as a part of the syllabus is that what is super organic view of culture? Super organic view of culture is nothing but the culture attains the super organic nature which is beyond the organic nature. That means the culture that is created by the biological beings and because of the physical characteristics of the humans. Okay, so that is super organic view of culture, and who has supported it? It is A.L. Kroeber, who has put forth in anthropology, taking the idea of Herbert Spencer, and further this has been supported by the Leslie White and Radcliffe Brown. But whereas it has been opposed by Malinowski. Okay, Malinowski has said that culture is result of an individual. Marvin Harris has also said the same. And if you see Edward Sapir has criticized that we need to understand that culture, how is it becoming super organic? Because of the individual contribution. Because of the individual contribution. Right? So you are not recognizing the agency of an individual. Right here, you are not recognizing the agency of an individual. So it is important to recognize the agency. That means the decision making ability of the individual. Okay, the decision making ability of the individual has to be respected over here. And he says that you need to understand that culture is not static in nature, it is dynamic in nature, and this dynamism has been given to the culture by the individual contribution. That means whatever individual is contributing, to that only it is becoming dynamic and it is attaining that whatever the super organic view you are saying. Okay, so he says that there is no division possible as organic and super organic. This is a flawed classification of the culture. Rather, it has to be seen as dynamic, which is result of the contributions of the individuals. Okay, so this is the criticism to that view. So if you understand what is super organic view of culture, and if you know that who has given it, who has supported it, and who has opposed it, and this would be a sufficient amount of answer to your question of super organic view of culture. Thank you very much. We'll come up with the next topic in the next class.